for when I would render videos on my old laptop, it would take so long, and I would also be unable to do literally anything. So with this one, sometimes I remember my friends were like, okay, calm down, because I was playing Fortnite and I was like, oh my god, I had to turn down my settings from ultra to high because I'm rendering a video, and they're like, okay, you need to get a grip.
Hey there, it's Bob, the voice from the box on Gaming Morning Show. Before this video, please subscribe to our channel. Every time you do, I get one more air hole for my box, so it really is appreciated. Thank you.
Morning show continues. Thanks for being with us. It is Tuesday and a double guest day, which is some of my favorite days on the show. We are joined now by ProjectRuby. Good morning to you, ProjectRuby. How are you?
Hi, good to see you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It is fantastic to have you joining us. This is our second straight day of getting to play 5 Questions GMS, and we're going to learn a lot about you and your streams and other content, because I know you have YouTube things you're working on and such. Let's start with that. For those who have never had a chance to catch you streaming or watching any of your YouTube videos, what can we expect when we see you on Twitch?
Yeah, so I do a variety of things, and I started doing these series because after being on Twitch for like 5 years, I decided to kind of change things up a little bit, and I started making some different series. Like recently, I started doing a best and worst of, where I go to Metacritic, I find the best rated game of a specific year or a franchise or a console, and I dive into the best and the worst games of that, which has turned out pretty interesting so far. And yeah, I take a lot of my content and I make it and repackage it into YouTube stuff, so you can expect that. This week I'm actually doing a themed week where I'm taking Xbox Game Pass, not sponsored, but I'm using their randomizer feature, and I'm basically streaming a game per day that is basically randomized. So I have no idea what's ahead of me, and that's exciting as well.
Yeah, I like these series, and the one I watched, I think, was the football game that was the worst one of 2021.
Yeah.
It was like eFootball Manager or something like that.
Oh boy, yeah, eFootball 2022. Oof.
Could have
definitely an interesting experience. Yeah, I could definitely see why the reviewers had an average of the lowest of, it was 20 something average out of 100. So
rough.
Yeah,
rough. And you also do a podcast. Is that something that you can give us some details about?
Yeah. I co-founded alongside a bunch of wonderful queer gamers out there, and we co-founded a podcast called JustGamingTingz. Every Saturday we go live at 7 p.m. my time. I forget if it's 1 p.m. or 12 p.m. Eastern, but one of those. And yeah, it's lovely. We talk about all of the gaming things, if you will, and from an all queer perspective, because you don't get to see a lot of that out there, and so we just came together and decided to make that happen for everyone. So yeah, check it out. Just Gaming Things with a Z at the end.
And we have links to both your YouTube page and your Twitch page, but of course I found your podcast through your Twitter bio, so obviously we'll be able to get everyone to the places they need to be to follow along with you. There is, however, a reason that you are here. In fact, we were referred to you by former 5 Questions GMS competitor Cheritomo, and so we are excited to play said game with you. Let's do that now. It's 5 Questions GMS with ProjectRuby on Gaming Morning Show. Do you have any nerves, or is this like one of those things where it's like old hat, I can do this in my sleep?
Not nervous at all. No, I'm just kidding. It's one of those things where I feel like the longer you do it, I don't think it will ever change. It just means that you care, right? Like if you get a little nervous, it just means that you care about what you're doing and you want to do a good job, right?
Yep, and we try to make it as fun as possible, but, you know, listen, you have to answer questions, and anytime you have to answer questions, then there's inherent concern. So let's start off with, like, a really difficult one right off the bat, just kind of get you straight into the flow of this thing. On YouTube, as you mentioned, you do some different things, best of, worst of. You also did a video where you ranked every game that you played in 2021. We'll link, obviously, to the YouTube page on our chat. But we are asking you, ProjectRuby, what was your favorite game from 2021?
Ooh. Wow, that's hard because I chose 5 to be on my my top ranking. I would say a game that, because my thing is I always play games that didn't necessarily come out the year of, but I would say one of my favorites for sure was Unpacking. It was just so chill and it was so lovely, and um, yeah, it was just very relaxing and just very nice to look at, and the music gets you in the zone. It's very like lo-fi study with me kind of vibes.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because we've had Sports.Gaming from our show play Power Washing Simulator, and Unpacking gave me a similar feel where it seems like it's just low stress, you kind of move things around, and it ends up being just kind of a fun, lovey experience, right? Like it's not stressful in the least.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there is a little level of stress associated with it because the game is like pixel art, and so like at the end of every level, they kind of highlight things that you put in places you're not supposed to, and you're just kind of zooming in like, what is that supposed to be? And you just kind of get a little frustrated. Sometimes you're like, why would you not put this in your room? Like, and then you realize it's like a toaster or something, and you're just like, oh, of course.
Well, the good news is that is absolutely correct.
Correct.
You were 1 for 1 on this edition of 5 Questions GMS. Very good answer. And again, that YouTube link that we specifically put in chat goes straight to that video. Every game ranked from 2021. All right, question number 2. Now, we asked you for something that you know a lot about, at least seem to, and that many others seemingly do not. And you said K-pop. We're just going to go broadly with this one. What is something you think we should know about K-pop?
Ooh, something you should know about K-pop. It's for everyone. Like, I think sometimes people think about K-pop and they're like, oh, it's just for teenagers, or it's just for people who like bubblegum pop music or what have you. But there's so many artists and so many groups that make different genres of music. It just happens that it all gets encompassed into the label of K-pop because it all comes from Korea. But like, you get some groups who do rock, you have literal bands, you have artists that do stuff that we can kind of be more familiar with, kind of like pop R&B, hip hop. Like, there's literally artists for everyone. Literally just tell me what you like and I'll literally tell you an artist that you could enjoy from the K-pop industry.
I love the inclusive mantra with that. We've had folks on our show before who've talked about cosplay is for everyone, K-pop for everyone too. If you ever have a chance, this is not a homework assignment. If you have a playlist or like a good group to get introduced, you can tweet us at WatchGMS and we would totally retweet that to everybody else. I would love that. I think that would be really neat. 2 for 2.
Yes.
You are absolutely correct.
Ding.
So moving ahead to question number 3 with Project Ruby on Gaming Morning Show. You also have a gaming series called the Final Fantasy Challenge, right? We talked about that. You have these series that you do. And of the categories we gave you, you said that you were most knowledgeable about entertainment. So we're going to combine those two things, Final Fantasy and entertainment. And we're going to ask you, what year did Mariah Carey's song Fantasy come out? Because that's entertainment and has the word fantasy in it. It was at 1993, 1995, or 1997.
Hey, I feel like this is a trap. I feel like I'm gonna look like a bad gay. But I think. Wait, can you repeat the options again?
Absolutely. So we're looking at what year did Mariah Carey's song Fantasy come out? 1993, 1995, or 1997?
I'm gonna go with 97.
Ooh, 97 was a good year. 1997, I was figuring out how to move into the world of high school, and I liked that year because it was 2 years after I was in 7th grade. I just wanted to share that with you so that you knew that story about me. Once again, though, what is your answer to this question? Was it 93, 95, or 97?
Wow, I think Discord cut out a little bit. 95 is my answer.
Sorry, I hit my microphone because I wasn't hearing correctly, but yeah, I did come through correctly that time.
Correct.
1995, first try, 1995.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I believe, is it Mana Rochelle Manichelle, who came into our chat.
Oh, Mana Rizal.
Mana Rizal says, "Oh no, Ruby, I'm taking away the queer card," and says, "I am screaming." So it was Discord, didn't you?
Yeah,
hear?
it was Discord, Mana. I promise.
Jeez. Still 3 for 3. Perfect round.
4
so far. Question number 4 for you. We asked your favorite material possession or brand, and you mentioned your gaming PC. Now, I built this thing that you can't see on the screen, but this thing is a rebuild of a 2010 computer. I added some components, and I broke it all to heck. It crashes, except for when we're doing the show. Thankfully, it's really bizarre. Oh, no. So I admire people who love their gaming PCs. So we're going to ask you, what should we know about your gaming PC?
Oh, my gaming PC, she's lovely. Like, I did nothing except for order and then turn her on. Like, I literally did nothing, and it's lovely. Like, I had, yeah, I don't know how old the laptop was when I bought it, but I got it in 2016 when I started streaming, and it was a gaming laptop. So you could imagine that by now, it was a little bit outdated. So yeah, it's just lovely to run things, and I remember when I would render videos on my old laptop, it would take so long, and I would also be unable to do literally anything. So with this one, sometimes I remember my friends were like, okay, calm down, because I was playing Fortnite and I was like, oh my god, I had to turn down my settings from ultra to high because I'm rendering a video, and they're like, okay, you need to get a grip. Stop.
It was amazing. We got a new graphics card in this thing, and when I first exported a video, keep in mind it's one of those like solid state hard drives that look like a chip, like a computer chip. That thing zipped along. I was like, wait, you can do it that fast? I was amazed. I was amazed.
Right?
I have a follow-up question though. You said you started streaming with a laptop?
Yeah, it was an Asus gaming laptop. It was lovely for the time. She did her job. Like I would play Overwatch. I would play all of those games that were pretty relevant at the time. But yeah, as times kind of went along and the updates kind of started coming along, she was chugging behind a little bit.
Well, still though, I mean,
correct.
Not only do I think you get that question correct, I think you've earned a bonus point for giving us insight on what it was like to stream back on the laptop days. So now officially 5 for 4 on 5 questions. Ooh. GMS. You're over 100%.
You know, it's just being iconic it just comes natural to me.
Wow. All right, question number 5. We asked you if you have a favorite joke. It could be a dad joke or otherwise. You said yes. So, Project Ruby, what is your favorite joke?
It's not much of like a joke, but it's more, I just kind of wanted to give a shout out to just TikTok in general and TikTok sounds, because those are so good. There's one recently where they basically take moments where people get like bonked in the head or they fall or something, and like the second that you would listen to that thud, they just replace that with like what I assume is like a priest hitting some sort of like bong and like saying a prayer afterwards, which is so funny to me because I've seen so many edits on TikTok with that sound and it sends me every time. So I just figured I would give TikTok a shout out because some of those sounds are the funniest things I've ever heard.
All right, judges?
Yes. You are a genius.
That is a 6 of 5 performance for the one, the only Project Ruby on Gaming Morning Show. Do you have a TikTok?
I do. I'm not extremely active on there because, you know, I'm not a Gen Z individual. But yeah, it's the Project Ruby. I don't really do too much on there, but I do love to lurk for sure.
We, too, are just starting to develop our Gaming Morning Show TikTok, but I finally downloaded the app, and I'm finally watching more of it. So we will follow you, and we will be sure to check out some of your stuff. Of course, be sure to check out Project Ruby on Twitch and on YouTube, and, of course, podcast and more on Twitter. Project Ruby, your background is iconic. I love watching your streams because you do such a great job making people feel welcome. Cheritomo was absolutely right. We're thankful that we had the chance to have you on the show. And when are you going to be streaming next?
Well, maybe today. I stream every Monday through Thursday. So yeah, I have a lot of fun with that. My podcast, of course, is on Saturdays, and yeah, YouTube content as well on the side. And of course, Ko-Fi if you want to support and get some extra perks. And thank you so much for having me. Kara was super amazing on the show, and I just adore her so much. And so I was so happy that she recommended me because this was really a fun time. So thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. Thank you. And we will check your next stream out. Project Ruby, thank you so much for being with us on Gaming Morning Show. An outstanding performance. Ruby goes 6 of 5 and gets applause from the chat. Look at that.